Yeah, what up, y'all? Embrace the chaos. That's the only message I got for y'all today. Embrace the chaos, man. What's up? I'm your boy Jamai. This is Manifesting Stardom, and this is the journey to me being the biggest star in the world. And shout out to me because this is the 80th video for the 80th video of the Manifesting Stardom vlog of this year, 2026. I have not missed one day. Now I might be hanging on a thread. The videos might not be up at midnight. They might be up in the morning. They might be up in the afternoon, but they get up. And I'm just so proud of me. So I just want to shout out to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been consistent. You feel me? But that brings me to my point. I've been traveling so much. I have been with this new business venture, with my current business venture, with managing my finances in a new way, with trying to scale my businesses, with trying to stay on top of my fitness, trying to keep my house together. Life has truly been chaotic in a good way because I've been making money, I've been getting busy, I've been traveling, and I have found myself not being able to do my regular morning routine how I would do it. Get up at 4, have my piano practice, guitar practice, dance practice, gym, breakfast, my calories, my prayer, my vlog, all that done before 9 a.m. You know what I'm saying? My life hasn't allowed me to do that recently. I've been a little more fatigued in my body because I've been traveling. My sleep schedule been wild, but I've been making money. I've been booked. And so before, when I would go through seasons like this, it would almost make me depressed because I thrive in consistency. I thrive in a structured day. I thrive in being able to measure progress. But I found that life will rarely give you that. Life will rarely give you that thing where there are no curveballs in your day, where there aren't multiple directions pulling you from family to business to friends to whatever. Like, life is going to pull you in so many ways every day. And in a lot of those ways, you cannot ignore it. Some of those ways, whether you're a parent, whether you're a son, whether you are, it's a car thing or maintenance thing or a house thing, some things just can't be ignored, you know, and you have to prioritize, but also sometimes, a lot of times, you just gonna have to go with the punches and get back to what you can get back to when you can get back to it. You may not be able to get up and do your full morning devotions and yoga and stretch. You gotta do what you gotta do and try to get back to that morning prayer or devotions. Why are my dogs going crazy? Somebody must be at my door. But and so I found that, like, it's good to just embrace the chaos. I've been giving myself grace with the concept that, oh yeah, I haven't been able to practice piano every day. I haven't been able to practice guitar how I needed to, but I've been showing up in the best way that I can. And that does not mean that I am giving myself an excuse for not being productive, because I'm being very productive. But I'm giving myself grace, and instead of ruminating and downing myself about how I'm not doing enough or I didn't show up here, my focus is, how can I show up right now? So instead of thinking about all the stuff you didn't do or all the stuff you have to do, in this 5 minute span that you're thinking, you could have X something off your plate. But the concept is that chaos is going to always be here, and usually when you're under pressure, that means you're elevating. Usually when you're under pressure, that means it's time that you're being stretched into a new realm of dominion, a new realm of power, a new realm of elevation, a new realm of financial status. And so you have to stretch your bandwidth. If when you in the gym, I know I always bring up gym or fitness examples, but in order for your muscle to get bigger, you got to take that weight up. Now, when you're taking that weight up, this is not a weight that you can lift easily or weight that you're normally used to lifting, it has to be a weight that is a little bit heavier than what's comfortable, a little bit heavier than what you're used to. Stretching you is literally tearing the muscle tissue so that when the muscle tissue repairs, it grows back bigger. And so that's how we have to look at our life, our business, our maturity, our Christian walk. We can only get more when we stretch, and sometimes in the process of stretching, I know I down myself. I can be hard on myself. I can be, critical. But perhaps all you need to do is show up. And whatever you ain't get done today, try to get it done tomorrow. And try to do your best at prioritizing. So chaos is good. Get used to juggling things. Get used to showing up and being, as they say, being making your head be where your feet are. Like if you somewhere and you doing this, that's the only thing in the world you have to worry about doing right now. When you in the gym, you don't have to worry about anything but working out. When I'm doing this vlog, I don't have to worry about anything else in the world but doing this vlog, because once I'm done this, I can fully say that I finished it, and then I can focus on the next thing. And once you know what I'm saying? And so these are the 3 points that I have to support this concept, that embrace the chaos, man. Embrace all the different leads and inquiries coming at you. Embrace the concept of having to be here for family, but then having to be on a call in 30 minutes, and then having to be at the gym in an hour. Just be where your feet are. And you'll look at the end of your day and be like, wow, I got a lot done. But embrace the chaos, because if it ain't no chaos, if there's nothing stretching you, that means you're living a comfortable life. That means the mundanity of your day is not stretching you. You're not moving forward. And some people, that's okay, but that's not the audience. That's not my audience. That's not who I'm talking to. That's not who I attract watching this YouTube channel and this vlog. I'm attracting 1%ers. You watching this because you're a 1%er. You're a person that wants an exceptional life. And so a lot of times we judge ourselves based off of the measure of our productivity, but maybe because you're stretching and you're trying to balance more, that means you're growing, you're doing more, you're expanding more. And the truth is, to be the person that you want to be in your head and in your future, your bandwidth is going to the capacity of what you can take on in a day has to grow. You're going to have to be able to be this person in this moment and be that person in another moment and be here in that moment and regulate all those emotions, all those personalities, all of those things, because success requires that. So the first point I have is chaos, which I already kind of expounded on. Chaos equals capacity expansion. When life gets loud, it's not punishment. It is preparation. And the scripture for that is Isaiah 54:2. Enlarge the place of your tent and do not hold back. The translation is, God does not increase your life without increasing your load. He can only increase your life when he increases your load. In other words, your muscles only going to get bigger if you lift a heavier weight. Second point, calm is comfortable, not transformational. Most people pray for peace, but success requires pressure. You are praying for peace, but success requires pressure, chaos, unpredictableness, a monkey rich in your day. When you are expanding and reaching for more, that means you're reaching. That means you trying to get it. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to get it. Like, you're trying to reach that next level. And so going for the low-hanging fruit is not going to get you to where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? If I want to make $23,000 a week, I got to do $23,000 a week type stuff. with my effort, with my time, with my money management, with my imagination, with my ideas, with my business ventures. I need to do things that will make me $23,000 a week at a quality that deserves $23,000 a week. Y'all know I always do it when I do my vlogs. I have no idea. It's like something I tell myself not to do, and it make me do it every time. But yeah, but that scripture is James 1:2-3. Consider it one of my favorite scriptures that I always say to y'all. Consider it a joy when tests and trials come, because you know that the testing produces perseverance. The weight is going to produce a bigger muscle. The pressure is going to produce a bigger resistance. You know, if you practice every day to run a 3K mile, right? A 3K race, right? Or a marathon. If you practice to run a 3K marathon with ease, if that is what the goal is, but every single day you're practicing a 4K run, when you get to that 3K run, that's going to be cake, bro. It's going to be cake. So you need to understand that in order to prepare yourself, God is over preparing you. He is preparing you so that this next level will be easy. You have to enlarge your capacity. You have to enlarge your ability before the opportunity comes. You know, and be stretched by it. So if you're preparing for a 3K run and you running for 4 kilometers every day, the 3K run is going to be cake, bro. It's going to be cake. And so that's what we have to understand, that in order to get where we want to get to, we have to expand our bandwidth. We got to be able to handle more emotionally in a day. We can't be, I saw a quote where they said, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to be more faith-like than any other type of believer. And I know it's so, because when you don't have a job and you're not clocking in nowhere, and your business determines whether you pay your mortgage, it determines whether you eat or your family eats, it determines whether you got lights, that's a whole nother type of faith. It's a whole nother type of faith. I ain't saying that you can't be faithful with a 9 to 5, but it's a whole nother level of faith and trust in God when you don't have no consistent 2-week check. And your business, your service, your product is the thing that makes you, that help you keep your lights on. That's a whole other type of faith. Something half of these niggas don't know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? And so that level of faith is unmatched. It's unmatched. You know, so the chaos you're avoiding is the exact thing that will build you to the next level. It's going to build you to the next level. The third point is the 1% thrive in what others avoid, which kind of goes into what I was just saying. The 1% thrive into what others avoid. And to the point I was just making, as an entrepreneur, you have to understand that you may have $0 in your pockets at 8 a.m. and have $3,000 in your pocket by 8 p.m. and then have $200 in your pocket the next day at 4 p.m. So many people can't even fathom that concept. But when you are an entrepreneur, your bandwidth emotionally has to be so much so that doesn't bother you, that you ain't phased that you just made $2,500, $1,500. You ain't phased that today, and right now, you got $100 to your name. You're not phased. You have to learn to consider it a joy when tests and trials come your way. You have to learn. It's another scripture in the Bible where it says, I can't remember. I think it's in James where it talks about whether the cupboards, excuse me, One thing I'm gonna do is yawn. You just yawn when you watch. When you just heard me yawn, you just yawned yourself. There you. But anyway, there's a scripture in the Bible where it talks about whether the cupboards are full or empty. I'm content with Jesus. I'm content with God. And that's where we have to build our faith, especially as believers, as creators, as creatives, as entrepreneurs. We have to be so sure in our faith that whether we got $100 in our pockets or negative $100 or $100,000 in our pockets, our emotional stability bandwidth has to be at a consistent level. Now, of course, we're human. Of course, we're going to have moments, but there has to be a knowing that no matter what is faced before you, you saying to yourself, everything always works out for me. You are always looking at things at the most positive outlet, at a delusional level of optimism. You have to have delusional optimism. You have to be delusional. You have to speak like everything always works out. You have to speak like something is always coming. You have to speak like you already got it. And I know I talk about that, but it all goes into being a part of that 1%. The scripture I have for that is Luke 16:10, where it says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Whether I got $100 in my pocket or $100,000. Where is your emotional stability? Where is your baseline? You can't be like this every day. That's how I used to be. That's how I'm sure a lot of people can be and are. When you first take on this journey as an artist, as a creative, as a trailblazer, as doing something, creating something from scratch, as wanting to be exceptional. It's easy to go get a 9 to 5, live off that 2-week paycheck, budget your little money. That's cool, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to be elite, to be exceptional, and they say these words are subjective, but they're really not. Because to be exceptional and elite, you don't have a lot of peers. And that's just the truth. So to be that 1%, it requires another level of effort. It requires chaos to be constantly ensuing in your life. It requires that chaos. You gotta make those investments on your business where you don't know if you're going to sell all of the product or service that will justify this investment. But you gotta still be willing to do it. You gotta still be willing to put yourself out there. You gotta still be willing to do the things that's required on the front end so that the potential can even be there. You know what I'm saying? And so that when you do that, that invites chaos. That uncertainty invites chaos. You know what I'm saying? So, that is the small chaos that overwhelms you. The big success will break you. If you stressed about having a bad week, imagine being a Fortune 500 company having a bad week. That bad week means a lot different than your bad week when you're a business that's scaling 100,000, 500,000, $1 million a year. Imagine being a Fortune 500 company having a bad week. You gotta be able to manage those things. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, you got to be able to manage that. And so your training ground is dealing with the chaos, rolling with the punches, being like the water, going with the flow and keeping your focus. Okay, that set me back. Okay, or not that set me back, but okay, I got to endure this. Cool, but I know the focus. I wasn't able to practice. For me, it's like, I got a book and I got to go to New York. I ain't going to be able to hit the gym. I ain't going to be, all right, cool. I'm going to make sure I get to it when I get back. I ain't get to piano today, but I'm gonna make sure I get to it tomorrow. Or I haven't done it in a whole week, but I'm gonna do what I need to do and prioritize what I need to prioritize, and don't let a second of my day go without it being productive. And that's the goal. The goal is to manage your time efficiently, so that when you do have slip ups, so that when things don't go right, you won't beat yourself up. That's what the whole concept of getting up early is for. You get up at 4 or 5 in the morning. By the time 9 a.m. comes, whatever life throws at you, it won't mess up what you've already done. You've done a lot of work before the world even woke up, you know? So embrace the chaos. It only is stretching you. Manage your emotions, manage your mind, manage your words, and say everything always works out for me. Say everything always works out for me. No matter what, everything always works out for me. Manage that tongue, man. So yeah, that's my episode. That's my spiel for today. I love y'all. And if today is not my 80th, it's the 79th. I just wanted to clear that up. So yeah, I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.